Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of the Sunday Video Update. My name is Jared Fuller, aka the Jer Bear. Today's date is Sunday, January 21st, 2024. Usually I have Dad and Amy joining me off camera, but I'm kind of flying solo today. My brother and his girlfriend are in the bedroom. I hope you've all been doing well, and I hope you had a great week. My week was pretty good. Friday was a lot of fun. I went to the Shrine Circus at the Dow Event Center in Saginaw. Today is the last day, by the way, and the last show of the year will be at 6 o'clock tonight. I guess I could shut that light off because Dad's not here. Just one second, guys. There we go. There we go. We took care of that. But yeah, tonight is the final show of the Shrine Circus at the Dow Event Center in Saginaw. 6 o'clock tonight. So tickets are still available. Um, so if you're able to make it to the circus in Saginaw, make sure you get out there and have a great time. I had a great time. Dad, Amy, and I had went to the circus. It was a lot of fun. Always up for a little clowning around. Um, I got a bunch of cards from a lot of the clowns that were there. Um, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. My live chat is open, so if you've been a subscriber to this channel for at least a week, come on in and say hello, be civil, or I'll boot your sorry ass into Pluto. But if you're good, you can stick around. I have some people chewing off my toenail has made his grand return. But he left a couple of comments, and the reason I'm not going to ban just chewing off my toenail is because he's not saying anything offensive or inappropriate. He's just trying to liven up the chat and to put a smile on my face, which I don't mind it. I'm not, that's okay. And this is what he has to say if you're not reading the chat. He says, this is from a YouTube account called Chewing Off My Toenail. And I quote, he says, last night, I chewed off my toenail and spit it across the room, knocking a fly out cold. Now that's talent, dude. And then he left another comment, which is kind of marginally gross. Okay, it's nasty. He says, I use a back scratcher to stir my spaghetti Alfredo, man. Gross. Um, Spaghetti Alfredo. I think you mean fettuccine Alfredo. I've never heard of spaghetti Alfredo unless you add Alfredo sauce to spaghetti noodles, which also could be, favorable if that's what you enjoy. Schoolboy Kai, hello, Schoolboy Kai. He says even college campuses were closed on Friday because it was cold outside. And I did a video about that. Too cold to go to school, which I find to be patently absurd in a sense because for the reasons I outlined in that video. But when I was in school, they never canceled school because it was too cold to go. They would only cancel school, say, if the roads were slippery. The cold weather contributes to the slippery road conditions. Then they would call off school, which made better sense. Um, or if the furnace was broken at the school and they couldn't fix it in a timely manner, so they would just call off school so the kids wouldn't take the chance of getting sick and bringing it back home, which makes sense. But just because it's cold outside, they're going to call off school. That's never happened, and I kind of had a mild argument with some folks on Facebook about this because they said, "Oh yeah, Jared, they did too call off school." No, they did not. They never called off school because it was too cold. Um, no, if listen, if we could get away with not going to school, my generation growing up, if we could have gotten away with not going to school by using the excuse that it's too fucking cold outside, I would have had a lot of days off of school just based on that reason. No, mom, I'm sorry, it's just too cold outside. No, you sat in the car with the engine running and the heater on full blast, waiting for the fucking school bus. That's what we did. So I don't want to hear this nonsense about, oh, yes, they did. They called off school when it was too cold. Maybe in your school district they did, but overall, generally speaking, I don't ever recall a time when they ever did that. And I'm going to be 38 years old here in 6 months. I don't recall a time that they ever canceled school just because it was too cold to go. That to me is just ridiculous. It's like not sending the kids to school conversely because it's too hot outside. It's ridiculous. Um, I don't I don't know what's got it's the generation. These parents, they don't want for their children to feel inconvenienced even in the slightest way. Um, well, it's too cold. Oh, you're a bunch of stop coddling your kids. Quit being a bunch of fucking pussies. Send your kids to school. You know, give me a break. But it's the generation. It's the generation. Um, I don't know. It seems a bit. Yes, we have to protect children, and I have nothing against protecting children, but at the same time, it's like it's weather. It's weather. It's wintertime. Yes, it's going to be cold. Conversely, in the spring and summertime, yes, it's going to be warmer. Not always, but especially in the summer, it's going to be hot. Yes, in the springtime, that's when the seasons kind of duke it out. You know, some days it's cold and some days it's warm. Especially here in the Midwest. I mean, there's no consistency in the springtime because the seasons are just duking it out. And it was the snow. Okay. Um, well, yeah, for the snow, that's different because if the cold weather contributes to slippery road conditions, yeah, then they call off school for the day. Um, Even when we had a little bit of fog, they didn't call off school entirely for a little bit of fog. You know why? Because fog lifts. Fog burns off when the sun rises higher in the sky, the fog burns off. So they would delay school by maybe 2 hours or so, but they didn't completely cancel school because of fog. It's the generation. It's the generation. These parents are these professional parents are too busy coddling and indulging their children that we all have to follow the same mindset that, you know, it's all about the children. No, it's not. No, it isn't. They were having that speech when I was in school. If it's all about the children, then why are you making me go to school? Because that to me is torture. I hated school. I did not like school at all. But anyway, I've dragged on with that topic a little bit. If you want to watch that video, by the way, it's available on my YouTube channel. Too cold to go to school. Um, but my week was pretty good. As I pointed out at the top of this live stream, we went to the Shrine Circus. I took my buddy Reese because I had an extra ticket. They had like a buy one get one free deal, and yeah, so I took him. He's only 13 years old, and he had a great time. Again, the final show for the Shrine Circus is tonight at 6 o'clock at the Dow Event Center in Saginaw. For all my local friends who may be watching this, which I highly doubt there are not a lot of local friends, but I know there are some people from my area who watch my live streams and kind of makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. Hold on one second, guys. Oh, I don't know what that was about. My whole screen went black. I don't know if it affected my live stream, but nope, it shows that I'm still alive. Um, Schoolboy Kai, are you still here in my chat? Can you still see and hear me? I just unplugged my 256 gigabyte USB flash drive. Did the screen go black on your end, sir? I hope I didn't, because it went black on my end. No? Okay. Um, because my computer screen went completely black. I don't know what the hell's up with that shit, but it went completely black when I unhooked the flash drive. So who knows? It may be because there's so much music on this little flash drive. Um, Dad and Amy went to my cousin's house up in Gladwin County. That's why they're not joining me this week for the Sunday video update. I told them that it would be fine if they took off and went to visit with relatives because I got this. I can do a Sunday video update. That's no problem. I can do it on my own. I've done several Sunday video updates um, by myself flying solo, so it's not a big deal. Um, I'm sure they'll be back next week, but yeah. So my weekend review. And now, if you're new here, Schoolboy Kai, I don't know if you watch my live streams on a regular basis, but if you're new here, and for everyone else watching from wherever you're watching from, I go live at 3 o'clock Eastern time on this channel because I live in Michigan. I'm on Eastern time. And I use at least one full solid hour to talk about the week in review. And sometimes I go off on a tangent and I'll talk about other things that are irrelevant to what I've experienced in the past week. But yeah, I go from 3 until 4 every Sunday. And for the longest time, I didn't have a live stream or not a live stream. I'm sorry, a live chat because people were coming in and being stupid and foul mouth and obnoxious. And for a while, I just got sick and tired of banning people, and it became, like clockwork. And I just got fed up with dealing with that. So for the longest time, I closed off my live chat, and even still, sometimes I'll shut off the comment box on my videos because I just don't need to deal with argumentative people. And there's always someone looking to start an argument, and for the most mundane, trivial things. So that's why, like, when I upload videos, or even, I mean, my Sunday videos are usually weekly if I really stick to it. But when I have like my open thought videos, whether it be daily rants or just videos on specific topics, I do it in moderation because I don't like to I don't wanna have an overabundance of that at once and have a bunch of people attacking me or having a disagree, which I don't mind people disagreeing, but if you're gonna be disrespectful about it, then it becomes a problem. But I try to do it in moderation so that way I don't have it all coming at me at once. And I can deal with certain people on a certain video, or I can just close off the comment section altogether and not deal with the people at all. So it's hit and miss, and that's the reason, because I don't want to deal with a lot of negative. You can disagree with me, and that's fine. I don't have an issue with anybody disagreeing with me. But if you're going to make ad hominem attacks, um, then I have to draw the line. But other than that, I mean, yeah, next May will be 10 years that I've had this channel. Uh, but anyway, yeah, so if you're new here, welcome. Glad you're here. Glad you're subscribed. And make sure you click on that notification bell. Click all on the notification bell to be alerted of new videos when I post, or when I upload them, post them. I'm talking like I'm on Facebook. Um, I don't know the proper jargon for YouTube. I know there's a differentiation between YouTube and Facebook. I know on Facebook you post things. On Twitter, or X now they call it, you tweet. Or do you X? I don't know what is it still tweeting on X? I'm not on there anymore. I haven't been on there for years. Um, I've never had Snapchat or Instagram. And I know there's people who were pretending to be me on Snapchat and Instagram, and it didn't work because I got too many eyes watching on those platforms. So even if they pretend to be me, they're going to fail miserably. And of course, on Facebook, you can't fake me because my account is verified, and it's meta verified, and I can actually speak directly to someone at Facebook. So I'm pretty protected and grounded in that regard. But I've never had Snapchat or Instagram. Um, no, yeah, you tweet on X. Okay, so they still call it's not a post on Twitter, or I'm sorry, now it's X, which Listen, it's fucking Twitter, okay? I don't care that Elon Musk changed it to X or whatever he wants to call it. It could be Y and Z for all I give a shit. It's Twitter. It's always been Twitter. Um, it's Twitter. I mean, they can call it X, but listen, it's Twitter. If you're still tweeting on X, then it's still Twitter. It's just they changed the name. I don't know. It's stupid if you ask me, but I don't I only have Facebook and I only have YouTube. I don't have Snapchat or Instagram or TikTok. I don't do all that shit. I don't see much of a point to it. Um, someone asked me, I mean, I get asked all the time if I have, Instagram, Snapchat, or TikTok, and it's always a hard no on all three of those platforms because I just don't need the extra. I've just strictly I have Facebook and YouTube. I don't even have a MySpace anymore. I deleted my old MySpace account years ago. I just got fed up with, I mean, I never go to MySpace anymore. Um, I haven't used MySpace in ages, so I'm not on MySpace anymore. Just Facebook and YouTube. So, but yeah, I come here every week, or I try to come here every week, every Sunday from 3 until 4, and I just babble on about the week in review and other random shit. So, if this is the kind of content you enjoy, make sure you're subscribed and hit or click all on the notifications bell, and make sure you are if I can talk today, make sure that you are alerted of new content. Um, my uncle Raymond Giroux passed away last week. He was my grandpa Fuller's uncle on his mom's side. He was 89 years old. I didn't make it to his funeral yesterday. I'm kind of kicking myself about that. But I think I would rather just remember my uncle Raymond in the moments that I had with him the first time I ever met him, which was at Maple Gardens Bar in Saginaw, by the way. Um, really, just a really sweet guy. And when my grandpa Fuller died, when Grandpa Herb died, Uncle Raymond was at Grandpa's funeral, and um, yeah, so Uncle Raymond passed away. I think it was last week. He was 89 years old. And then I found out that someone who worked for the Chesaning School District, because that's where I'm from, she was a paraprofessional. Her name was Nancy Gosser, and she passed away at the age of 74. I don't know, it's like it hit me in my heart because, um, as much as I didn't like school, I didn't enjoy it all that much. There were people there, educators and staff members who actually, I think the students, like my particular group of kids who were in their classes, there was something profound about us that changed them. And when we moved on from middle school to high school, they actually, Mrs. Gosser actually came to the high school to check to see how myself and the other classmates were doing because I think we had that profound impact on the staff members. And that doesn't get mentioned nearly enough, I don't think, that if you have a profound impact on staff members and teachers, there's something to be said about that. I mean, it doesn't get said often enough. But Mrs. Gosser was, she would get on my case every once in a while, which I think she was justified in getting on my case a lot of time because she would say, "Oh, you're lazy about your schoolwork," which I probably was, no doubt. Uh, I fucking hated school with a passion, and I just didn't want to be there, and so um, I would just kind of slack off a little bit, and she would give me a hard time, and it's like, whatever. But I mean, other than that, she was a sweet lady, and when I read about her death, I was kind of, it's like, wow. I first saw it on TV5 because they flashed the obituaries after their newscasts during the week, and I saw her name appear, and it's like, oh my god, Mrs. Gosser died. So I was really sad about that. but she was 74, and I had spoken to one of her relatives at the back 40, um, and they said that she had dementia, but I don't know if that was the cause of her death. I really don't know, and I don't wanna, falsify any information publicly because that may not have been the case, but, what I was told by a close family member that she had dementia, a severe case of it, but I don't know if that was her cause of death. But I do, I feel bad, and my heart and my condolences go out to Mrs. Gosser's family and the rest of the Kulhanic family because she is actually her maiden name was Kulhanic. And Kulhanic is a well-known name around Chesaning. Not saying anything bad here, but I'm just saying Kulhanic is a well-known name. Um, it's one of those, if you own a business in town, Chesaning is not a sprawling metropolis, so your last name kind of matters with the people if you're a business owner or if you're just Mr. and Mrs. Popularity kind of a thing. I'm from the wrong side of the tracks, although I grew up here, and I am happy to be from the wrong side of the tracks because that just gives me more freedom to live the way that I want, irrespective of what people think. I'm not burdened and saddled with judgment by other people. Um, are talking about sports are okay to you. I don't know what you mean, schoolboy. I'm not sure what you're. Do I talk about sports? No, because I'm not a sports fanatic. I don't talk about, um I mean, I did make a video talking about what happened to the WWE, uh, but that was case specific. I don't talk about football. I don't talk about basketball, soccer, any of that bullshit because I'm not a sporty kind of a guy. So no, I don't talk sports here. But if you wanna talk about sports, I probably won't know what you're talking about, but you are more than welcome to discuss sports in my chat log if you want to. Uh, I just don't watch it. I won't have an answer if you ask me a question. Um, but in any event, you're more than welcome to talk about whatever you want. Even if your screen name is, chewing off my toenail. Saying that he chewed off a toenail and spit it across the room, knocking a fly out cold. Well, that's precision. And he says he uses a back scratcher to stir his spaghetti Alfredo, which I think he meant fettuccine Alfredo, but even it doesn't matter. It's gross. But I think, like I said, I think chewing off my toenail does that just specifically for the laughs. And as long as you're not being inappropriate or insulting in my chat log, um, then you're fine. No, I don't talk about politics either, schoolboy. Um, I couldn't care about politics. Uh, I know that this is an election year. I'm not a registered voter. I was actually thinking about doing a video that, like the videos I've been uploading randomly on my channel. I was thinking about talking about why I don't vote. Um, But no, I'm not political. I'm not religious. I don't know if this is your first time here, but I'm an atheist. I'm not political. Um, I don't talk about anything to do with politics because I just don't care. I'm one of those Americans that just doesn't care about politics. And oh my God, how dare you not care about politics? It is the machinery of our society and blah 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 blah. I hear I hear it all. Um, well, if you don't vote, you have no right to complain. Oh, shut the fuck up. I'll complain about the mess you created that I had nothing to do with. How's that? I don't care who gets in there. We're all screwed either way you look at it. Um, but no, I don't talk about politics. I don't talk about politics at all. Actually, I prefer not to. Now, if dad was here, if my dad was here, he would probably go off on a tangent about Trump and Biden and I don't know. I would much rather vote for the Pillsbury Doughboy, as an independent. That's how much I give a fuck about politics. Um, It's whatever. But I understand that this is I think it's an election year. It shows how much I pay attention to the shit and how very little I know about politics because I don't even know if this is an election year. I couldn't tell you. And I don't even know who the people are running, but it's whatever, you know. I know there are some people who watch this and they're going to be so pissed. They're going to be so mad. Oh, Jared, you don't vote, and they're going to have their opinions, which you're allowed to have your opinions. I just don't. I voted. Listen, I voted one time when I was 18 years old. I registered to vote, and I think we were voting for a governor. We were voting for. I think it was Gretchen Whitmer. Or no, I'm sorry, not Gretchen Whitmer. No, 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 no. I take that back. Scratch that. She's the current governor of Michigan. Um, and she's a Democrat, by the way. Um, it was Jennifer Granholm. Jennifer Granholm. We were voting for a governor. It was Jennifer Granholm and some other douchebag. Don't remember who it was. I voted. I didn't even know what I was voting for actually because I don't pay enough attention to the issues to really give a shit about what's going on. But the ballot was like this long. It was like I know you can't see it, but say from about here down past the edge of my desk, which you can't see on the camera. It was a long ballot. And it's like, I don't even know what the fuck this shit is. Proposal one, proposal two, proposal three, it's like, what the hell is this shit? I just started marking random shit and it's like, whatever. And then after that, years had gone by when I didn't vote at all. I never went to the voting booth. I didn't care and I still don't. I don't care who's governor. I don't care who's president. I just don't care. Um, and I think it was last year or maybe the year before that, I canceled my voter registration in the state of Michigan because I just want no part of the circus anymore. And I just went to a circus and I like the circus. But the political circus, no, it's not fun. It's not entertaining. It's just people who, it's a great big tug of war. Democrats on one side, Republicans on the other. And I'm over here as a spectator watching people duke it out over who they want to tell them what to do for the next 4 years. It's fucking stupid. I see no point to it. Um, and like I said, I'll probably go a little deeper into thought in one of my videos that's more specific and case in point rather than. I mean, I kind of went off on a tangent here in my live stream, but it's whatever. Um, but I just don't see much of a point to any of it, if that makes sense. It's all just bullshit to me. Um, Either way you look at it, we're fucked. I mean, it's just it doesn't matter. Oh well, if we only vote for this guy or vote for that guy, no, I'm sorry, but that it's not the answer. I mean, it may be the only model or system we have currently, but I don't have enough faith in that model or system to be a part of it. I don't want to put in my thoughts or my 2 cents. Well, this person represents my thoughts. And I don't care. I represent my own thoughts. Most of the people I talk to, the communication is voluntary most of the time. I don't need someone running the country telling me. I don't need someone speaking for me. I don't need that. I can speak for myself and talk to the people that I want to talk to, which I do anyway. Um, I just don't see much of a point to it, I guess. I don't know, Schoolboy, do you vote? If you're still here watching, because you kind of had me spin off into the bushes there for a minute talking about politics, which is my least favorite thing to talk about because none of it makes any fucking sense to me whatsoever. You don't vote either. Well, then you might understand my talking points then, or maybe you might disagree with a lot of my talking points. Um, because your name looks familiar, like we've spoken somewhere before. Um, were we? it was another I'm pretty sure it was another chat room. Um, was it The Line, I think? Um, because we both watch the Sunday show on The Line, Matt Dillahunty, Jimmy Snow. Um, I think that's where we met each other was in the chat log over on The Line. Oh, no, Tim Ward. Tim Ward. That's right. Timothy Ward. Yes. Timothy Ward is, you know, I can relate to a lot of his thoughts too. Like he's a pretty cool guy. I mean, he's living his life and doing his thing. Um, but there are some things that I would disagree with him on. Obviously, religion. He's a very spiritual, God fearing, well, whatever. And I am just not that person. I don't agree with that. But for most other things, I I don't know. I think I can agree with um most of what he says. He seems like a person who is very genuine and sincere in his thoughts. And yeah, I mean, I like his content on his channel. He's a pretty cool guy. Um, but I mean, you can now see. Here's the thing, though, schoolboy, and I want to make this known to you and everybody else watching is that you can disagree with people and still be friends with people. You can disagree on specific topics and subjects, and you can still wish the best for them. You can still carry on in life with them and try to do the right thing and just to be a good person. You don't have to agree on everything to be friends. Um, but Timothy Ward is one of my go-to guys when I need a little bit of inspiration or um, I guess uplift to bring my spirits up because lately it's been kind of rough. Um, you know, I with losing my mom, which I'm still grieving over that, and I'm gonna grieve over that for a very long time, probably the rest of my life. But Timothy Ward has a lot of good talking points, and um, yeah, I pop into his chat once in a while. I'll pop into Timothy Ward's chats once in a while, and the thing, actually, schoolboy, one of the things, the topics that really caught my attention with him is the reasons why he never had children. And that's probably one of the more relatable subjects that I can, you know, I listen to Timothy talk in his videos, and it's like it makes so much sense. Like he's right. Children are expensive. Children are stressful. And then there's the other added bullshit piled on top of that. Oh, I got to meet up with other parents that I really don't want to talk to, and I got to deal with their bratty ass kids. And God, what if it's my kid who's a brat? Then that makes me a bad parent, and you know, so on and so forth. He hit on a lot of good talking points, and that's why I sincerely enjoy his channel and his content. He is just one of a kind. He is really he puts it out there, and that's kinda what I try to do, although I probably have more haters than people who are sincere in a friendship. They come here just to hear what they wanna hear or to twist my words and then try to use it against me, which happens quite often, but it doesn't work. Um, but yes, that's where we met. It was Timothy Ward on his channel. I missed the recent live stream he did. Um But yeah, Tim Ward is he's a good guy. He's a good cat. I like him. We are expecting a nice warm up here in Michigan. And I don't know why the camera keeps going in and out of focus. I think it's the lighting. I do apologize for that. But we are expecting a warm up here in Michigan. It's supposed to be in the 40s sometime this week, which I am really looking forward to because it's been so goddamn cold. It's been bone chillingly cold. Um, our water pipes were frozen and I had to improvise. You know, I wanted to take a bath and we didn't have, you know, running water. So what did I do? I took a pan, one of our cooking pans, gathered up some snow, melted it on the stovetop, did it a couple times, and put it in the middle of my bathtub, stripped down and lathered myself up, and bada boom, it worked. So where there is a will, there is a way. And yeah, I probably was a little too, you know, in detail about that, but hey, that it works. I mean, you go with what works. No shame. I grew up improvising, and you found ways to make things work. And you do what you got to do. But yeah, we had no running water because the pipes were frozen. I think we may have solved the problem, hopefully. And yeah, so now we have running water again, and it's supposed to warm up this week. We're gonna be in the upper 30s and lower 40s, which great, great. I'll take it. Um, so yeah, yeah, Schoolboy. That's what it was. It was Timothy Ward's channel. Because there are other people, there's other channels that I watch, and I watched The Line with Matt Dillahunty and Jimmy Snow, which, by the way, Matt and Jimmy are atheists, and a lot of the things that they say also makes a lot of sense. I was, religious at one time. I used to believe in God and all that stuff, but not so much now. Um, there's, I'm not really vocal about it even on my Facebook because I just don't think it's uh, um, it's not really somewhere that I really want to talk about that. If I'm asked, like, independently, if I have religious views, I can just say no, I don't. Um, but in any event, I try to be respectful of other people, and it's like if that's what you want to believe, that's up to you. But if you're going to leave religion, I don't want for government to force you to relinquish your religious beliefs. I want you to be able to rationalize and reason yourself out of it like I had to. Because religions are harmful. I don't care what anybody says, they're fucking harmful. Most of the shit that goes on in this world is the direct result of differing religious views and beliefs, and that's what is when you have all these differences, and you you believe this and someone else believes that, and then there's a feud. Most of the wars in this country are religious driven wars. And it's I mean, in the Bible, front to back genocide, it condones slavery, owning people as property, beating them with rods as long as they don't die within a couple days. And there are plenty of people out there who will make excuses for it and try to defend it when they don't have a single fucking leg to stand on. And it's disgusting listening to people try to defend human atrocities, such as owning people as property and being violent. And it religion is harmful. It does more harm than good. Most people, they think that some imaginary man living in the sky watching over every move they make. Oh, he's going to pull me out of this bad time. And have you ever heard of a thing called circumstance or hard work or just waiting to see where the chips fall, that kind of thing? Um, it gets out of hand, and it gets to a point where it almost becomes unbearable to speak to people because every sentence is ensconced with religion or God or whatever the case may be. At which point I become completely disinterested in speaking with people who are religious to the core, and every sentence is God this, God that. I walk the fuck away. It's like I can't do it. I'm not saying, like Steve Harvey. He's a Christian who despises atheists, and he says he has nothing to say to atheists. Well, to be fair, because we go by logic and critical thinking, most atheists do. And the feeling is mutual, Steve Harvey. We probably wouldn't want to speak to you either if every sentence that comes out of your pie hole is about your invisible friend. We don't want to listen to that either because there's no evidence for your God. So, uh, I mean, it's just I don't get it with people. I just don't understand people. But I don't talk about religion a lot, whether it be on YouTube or even on my face. I don't even talk about it on Facebook at all. But I do find it funny that people think that the Earth is flat. I get a kick out of people who think that our planet is as flat as a pizza pan. I just think it's hilarious. It's like we have all kinds of evidence to show that the Earth is an oblate spheroid. We have evidence for this. There should be no reason why anybody thinks that the Earth is flat, unless you're just really poorly uneducated on these subjects. Which I'm leaning more towards that because people are they are just really emphatically sure that the planet is flat. They are okay with other planets in the solar system being spherical, including the moon and the sun, but somehow the laws of physics don't apply to Earth, the planet where we live. Okay. That's not how that works. I can show you evidence of the Earth being an oblate spheroid. The Earth is round as fuck. There's nothing flat about this Earth. If I stand outside and I look abroad and I see a flat landscape, well, it makes sense because the curvature of the Earth is so huge. It's big. You're only feet off the surface of the Earth. If you are in outer space looking back at Earth, you're going to see the curvature of the planet. You know, I mean, if you're a flea on a dog, then yeah, it's going to be flat because you're a flea. You're just a tiny little thing compared to the Earth. But if you go out and look back down, you're going to see the curvature. So that's one way of determining that the Earth is a sphere. But there's a lot of other ways too, like satellites in orbit, different time zones, the prevailing westerlies that ride along the jet streams that circulate and travel around the planet, um, solar and lunar eclipses. Um, how is it daylight here and dark somewhere else, nighttime somewhere else? Well, that's the positioning of the sun during different times of the day. Because if the planet was flat and the light had shone down, sunlight shone down, it would be the same time all over the world, which doesn't happen. There's just a lot of different ways to determine that the Earth is a sphere. Um, Flight patterns have to be carefully calculated, and so you're not making wrong decisions. I guess I'm not an airline pilot, so I don't really know how to explain that. But they have ways of determining flight patterns, and they can do that because the Earth is a sphere. And I can only hope that I have a flat earther watching this right now, whether it be now or in playback. Um, because I've just pissed off a bunch of flat earth people. I guess I'm on a roll today. Flying solo, kind of flying solo. Um, I have to pick up on, really quick. That's why when, especially when Dad and Amy are gone, I have my chat log open. Um, but it's just really funny. It's really funny to listen to people try to, they try to rationalize and justify their positions on why they think the Earth is flat. But the thing is it is a losing battle, and I don't know what the reward would be if we found out tomorrow or even tonight that the Earth was flat. What would be the reward? So what if we found out the Earth was flat? Big deal. It's not a conspiracy. I mean, what would be the reward if we found out tonight or tomorrow that the Earth is flat? That's what I want to go ahead and have a good day. Well, I plan on it. Thank you, schoolboy. You don't think the Earth is flat, do you? But no, it's just when we have evidence for something and you have people who constantly and continuously argue against it, it gets a bit frustrating. Because there are several, especially when it comes to the Earth being a sphere and people claiming that it's flat and making a big stink about it. I mean, there's even a special interest group that talks openly about why they think the Earth is flat. Well, if this is happening and this is happening, then that result wouldn't happen. Well, if you understood science and if you understood the laws of physics, you would understand that that is exactly what the fuck is happening according to science. Uh, I don't know why, if you think it's the opposite of what science shows, and why isn't your thoughts and papers being submitted to peer review? All because that's science and gee, you must think science is just bullshit, right? Well, science is pretty much the only real consistent tool that we have that gives us models about our universe, about our world. Nothing else even comes close. What else is there? Oh, God, right? No. Sorry, that's not gonna hold up. But anyway, I'm kinda going off topic here. That's what happens when I'm sitting here kind of alone by myself. No other subject or no one else in the room to kinda guide me along, but that's okay. I told Dad and Amy that I would be just fine doing the Sunday video update by myself. I've done it before many times, so, um, I don't know what's happening this week. Usually I have plans, for the week ahead, and I'm honestly not sure, what my plans are for this week. I do need a haircut again. I gotta shave my hair again. Um, so that'll probably be on the list of things to do for the week. Um, I'm trying to think, next Thursday, February 1st. Oh, this year's going by quickly already. On Thursday, February 1st, I have an appointment, a doctor appointment in Owasso at the King Street Professional Building to have or actually, to have a consult, or actually, no, it's not a consult, it's actually an appointment with my doctor, um, about my medicine that I take, for my depression and stuff like that. Um, so I gotta go in and talk to him. He'll probably, um, ask me if I've been taking it, which admittedly, I haven't been taking it every day, and he's gonna ask me why, and I don't know, I and it's the truth. I mean, I lose track, I guess. I just don't think about it, like, it's not in my daily clockwork, like, I don't have that, um, entrenched up here it's like, "Well, this is a routine, you gotta take this," although it's supposed to be because it's my medication, but, no, I've missed a lot of days. I took it today. I took my medicine today, but I've missed a lot of days where I was not taking my, my medicine. So, I'm probably gonna get a lecture about that, but I'm gonna be honest with him and say, "No, I've been missing a lot of days. It's just I know I'm supposed to take it, and I know, I don't need the lecture. I know, um, but I took it today, and I guess now that it's out there, I'll have to start taking it every day until next week. I go see my doctor for my appointment, and they said, "Well, you're due for another fill or a refill," and okay. Um, I I think it happened, really happened when I found out that my mom was sick. When I knew that mom had cancer, that's when it really started to hit. People ask me sometimes about the grieving process. How have you been taking it? Just yesterday, I was in Owasso and I was doing some grocery shopping at Walmart. And I ran into a friend that I've known for a long time, and she was at checkout, and she asked me, "Well, how you been doing? How you been holding up since mom passed away?" And I'm hanging in there. I'm doing okay, you know. I don't want to speak for my brother. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but by what I can tell, he's about the same as I am. We're just, hanging in there and trying to make the best of every day that we're given, and um, it's really all you can do. But I do have my moments where, like last night, I was just lying in bed and staring at the ceiling and thinking about mom and thinking back to the times when we just had lots of fun. We used to do all kinds of things, and it's like this is so unreal that you're not here with me anymore. How could you leave me like this? And I was having those thoughts, and then I started to cry, and then it's like, fuck this. I'm not doing this tonight. I'm not going to do this. So I tried to get some sleep, and yeah, I have my moments. I'm human. I have my moments just like anybody else. And I had written on Facebook yesterday that because someone who I'm really good friends with, his son passed away as a result of DIPG. He's a bereaved father, and he had written a post about people who are. I mean, this is really, how do I say it? Because it's an accusation against people who are grieving, preferably parents. And someone said that the parents grieve publicly for the attention, and they were jealous that they didn't have that same kind of grief. And my question is, who would be jealous of someone who loses a child? I don't think I'd be jealous of someone who lost a child. I would not be jealous about not having the emotional stability to handle grief in a way that someone else does, and maybe they don't handle it. It is a stupid it's stupid to say, but it's a stupid thought to even have in your head. Well, I'm jealous that I don't have the same kind of grief that you do. And all I can ask myself is, what the fuck? Because I wouldn't be jealous of someone who lost a child. Um, but I do understand loss broadly and generally. Losing my mom and losing my grandpa and losing some cousins and aunts and uncles, over the years. Yes. Um, Grief sucks, man. It sucks. But the reason we feel it is because we're human and we loved that person enough to grieve over them. Well, someone had made a statement that um, people grieve for the attention, which I don't think that. Okay, let me put it this way. I was an advocate for childhood cancer cures for many years, and I didn't use grief as a driving force behind my reasons for advocacy. I used my story. I introduced my story to lots of people. And the new information, when the information would change, when I would learn something new, I would pass that on, and it would, to update the information that I was given because I may have been given some incorrect or faulty information. So I would always be sure to update that information. Grief was not the driving force behind my advocacy. My story, because I figured I don't want to just leave it, and let it fester in my life and thinking that everything I could have done, I'm being held back as a result of my cancer battle as a child. No, I wanna share that and reintroduce it to at the time, I called it a community. I wanted to reintroduce that to show other people that they weren't alone, that they had an extra outlet where they could come to me and talk to me about these things, and that was my driving force behind my advocacy efforts, and I didn't think about popularity. I wasn't trying to be number 1. I wasn't trying to be on the front page of every newspaper. I wasn't trying to be on television or radios or radio, um, or podcasts. I wasn't trying to be the center of attention. I just wanted to show other people that I could relate to their child situation. The grief for many of the bereaved parents, I'm not saying that this is how they grieve, and I don't wanna make it sound like I'm putting words in their mouths, but if I had to guess, I would say that grief is the driving force behind reasons why they advocate for cures for childhood cancer. It's always been the case. I knew this when back in 2013, when I first started to talk about this, I knew that that's what that was. The grief and the grieving is an integral part of advocacy. It is merely in principle to why they advocate for cures. But what I gave up believing or buying into is the fact that you have to post a gold ribbon to show that you care. That's bullshit. All the platitudes, more than four, awareness leads to cures, blah, blah, blah. It's all bullshit. Awareness does not lead to cures. And if that is the case, I'd like to see some evidence for that, because we still don't have cures for DIPG. In the most severe cases and severe types of cancer there is, that plagues children daily. We don't have evidence to show where awareness leads to cures. It seems like you know, people are convinced of that. And I was convinced of that language and that specific jargon until, I mean, this March, I'm going to be a survivor for 35 years. I had to take a step back, and it's like, let me examine this a little better and call out the bullshit, because there's a lot of bullshit that needs calling out on, calling out. There's a lot of bullshit that needs to be called out. And, you know, and it does come to a point where people are using childhood cancer specifically for the glamour and the celebrity, for the bravado. And one person that I'm not going to say his name, but I think y'all know who I'm talking about. Um, he that's his game. And childhood cancer cults are becoming a thing. And you can deny all you want that it's a cult, but it is what it is, man. You got a cult. Because if you have a group of people joining your club and you're specifically directing them to not speak to me or to not like me, that's what a cult does. And I'm not interested in people who can't think for themselves and they're being stripped of their individuality. And no, I want you to be you in your real true form. Be you. But I don't, I'm rambling again. But hey, nobody else is here to talk about anything or to open up dialogue on other subjects. So fuck it, I'm going to talk about what I want this week. So let's see here. I've got. Oh wow, I'm almost at the end of the hour. That hour goes by quick. See, that hour does go by really, really, really fast. So I guess now that we're down to like the final 2 minutes of the show, I just want to say that, well, first off, I appreciate you stopping by and indulging me for the past hour. And I hope you all have a wonderful week. I hope it is problem free for many of you. And yeah, I don't know what my plans are for this week. I had thought about going out to Billy's Pine Run Inn tomorrow night, but I don't know for sure. The Sunday flashback. That's something I wanted to also share for my buddy Dan Richards. He is a DJ at 103.9 The Fox in Flint, Michigan, and you can listen live to the Fox Sunday Flashback with Dan Richards. I'm going to put the link um, in the chat log here, so you can listen live from anywhere in the world. The station's in Flint, but you can listen from anywhere in the world. Listen to 103.9 The Fox Sunday Flashback with Dan Richards. I can do a little promotional thing for my buddy Dan here. Okay, it's in the chat log now. Okay, so We are down to the final minute. Make sure you listen tonight at 7 o'clock Eastern time. He goes from 7 until 11 at 103.9 The Fox. He takes your requests. He plays a lot of Southern rock and classic, the cross between Southern rock, country, that kind of thing. It's quite the mix. So make sure you listen tonight. And if you don't listen tonight, enjoy your evening. Have a great week. The Shrine Circus tonight at 6 o'clock, Dow Event Center in Saginaw. If you're able to make it, and if things go right, I will be back next week for another Sunday video update. My name is Jared Fuller, aka the Jer Bear, and I will see you all next week. So take care, peace out, love one another, and behave yourselves. Bye bye.